Yo, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. And playoff weeks, playoff week, playoff week. Cowboys are still in it. As Ezekiel Elliott says, we just getting started, baby. How about them Cowboys? So before I get started, I want to say I was chatting with a Rams fan, Trent Loomis, Rams Talk. Go check his channel out, you guys. I know he's a Rams fan, but seems like a really cool guy. He does matchups and stuff like I do on a weekly basis, but for his Rams. And since we are playing the Rams this week, him and I may be doing a collabo sometimes before the end of this week, before the game. We still got to get that together, but so look out for that. We'll probably be doing, I'll do my own matchup and I'll do one with him. I'll let him talk about his Rams and, you know, we'll talk about the Cowboys. But, you know, I have a lot of respect for the Rams. I don't really hate their organization. I really have a lot of good things to say about, you know, Sean McVay and what he's doing since he's been there. Basically turning that team around. I mean, they already had pieces there, but they just needed the right coach there to get them to where they need to go. You know, like I said before, everybody kept saying Jared Goff was a bust. All of a sudden, you know, a new scheme comes in there. McVay brings that Shanahan offense over there, and, you know, it works out great for Jared Goff. Now, you know, Jared Goff is technically still young himself, but one thing I will say good about Jared Goff is that I love the fact that he'll step up in the pocket. Even when pressure's in his face, he'll still throw that ball. So whether you give him, even when you give him pressure, he's going to throw that ball. Now, before I get into the Rams, though, let me finish up, because normally I start talking about the next week on Wednesdays, but as I close out Seattle, you know, how we say, we get the win, 24-hour rule, we forget about it. But, you know, this is playoff week, so it's a lot of talk about. Primarily, when I look at the commentators and the talking heads and, you know, they've been left and right here and there talking about it. So, LaDainian Tomlinson, Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, of course, the hater, Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless. Like, you look at all of these people that's been talking, and Nick Wright. You know, Chris Carter actually gave Dak props this game. You know, before the game, he was speaking the opposite, that, you know, he wasn't ready for this, blah, blah, and all that. But what I hear is, like, a lot of people are giving him credit, especially after Ezekiel said he played like a grown-ass man. And he did play like a grown-ass man in this game. Some analysts are actually giving him his props for that. But, you know, as somebody that's been watching Dak from the beginning, I've seen how he's progressed. I see the things because I am a true fan and I see it every week. You know, they just watch it whenever they need to, whenever they have to talk about it because they get paid to do that. You know, as YouTubers, we do this because we love to do it primarily. So if you don't do it for any other reason, then it's stupid. But again, my thing on Dak, like, look, I always say all the time what he needs to work on. And again, he's 3 years in. He started day one. He wasn't supposed to start day one, but he's done a hell of a job. And like I said, like I will always say, but above all, I love his leadership ability, the way that he leads this team, and he basically, and people are following him. You look at what Zach Martin says, hey, you know, whenever my quarterback puts his body on a line like that, I can't do nothing but follow that. And I would not rather have any other quarterback than him right now. And that's big for your all-pro offensive lineman, and to say that about you as a quarterback. I mean, that's huge. That means a lot. And to look at this team from when they were 3-5, to come out of that hole and to come down the stretch to win 7 out of 8 games, get to the playoffs, win the NFC East Championship, win this weekend in wild card, and go on to the division round is where we are now. When you could look back at the beginning of the season, did you ever think that the Cowboys were going to make it this far from when they were 3-5? No, I didn't. I thought they were either going to go 9-7, maybe 10-6, which is what they did. They went 10-6, but I thought that the Eagles were going to be so far ahead at the time because I thought that they were going to get back on that roll. Now, the Eagles did squeeze into the playoffs. They're here. I kind of liked it there in the playoffs because if they can beat these teams, they can help us get these other teams out of the way. Because I'd rather play the Eagles at the end of the day than anybody else because we know them. We play them twice a year. So back to Seattle. So as I look at this game, our defense was hella stout in this game. I mean, they held Chris Carson to 20 yards rushing. You know, the Seahawks came into the game first in rushing overall with Rashad Penny and Chris Carson. Rashad Penny had, like, I think one long run, but he still had 29 yards on 4 carries. Chris Carson had 13 for 20. But they kept running the ball, and I think that what they were trying to do on their end, they were trying to wear down the Cowboys' defense, but that didn't work out. What they should have done, and the reason why, you know, you hear people say that Jason Garrett finally outcoached somebody, I think it's more so of just Pete Carroll not doing the right thing, just making bonehead decisions. Because you have a quarterback in Russell Wilson that's capable of doing a lot of running and making plays with his feet. They didn't allow him to do a lot of running in this game. He was 3 for 14 rushing. He had a couple of deep passes to Lockett and Baldwin, but outside of that, I mean, they didn't have the scoring drive that they did have was a turnover from us. So I mean, you just look at those things, and I feel like even if the Cowboys played an even more sound game, I think the score would have been even farther than what it was. But you know, it is what it is. A win is a win at this point. But I want to say, in my opinion, the biggest drive of the game for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott. You're 3rd and 14, and you need to get to the first down. Now, what the coaches were thinking at that moment, they were thinking, okay, so if we can get some yardage, we just want to get closer to make a field goal. But who knew that Dak would have ran that ball from 3rd and 14 to the 1-yard line, almost getting into the end zone, but getting to the 1-yard line and getting that first down. That was a desperation call on 3rd and 14. I got to give the coaching staff credit for that because that was actually a design call. And you could tell it was a design call because as soon as Dak did his, as soon as he dropped back when he was done with his steps, he ran straight forward towards the end zone. So Seattle didn't see that coming. He even ran past Bobby Wagner. But again, that's the type of plays that Zach Martin's talking about. When your quarterback puts his body on the line for you, that's huge. And nothing else beats that. So, in my opinion, I look at it like this. He was a true warrior. He played like a grown-ass man that day. And, hey, that's my quarterback. Now, as far as Dak Prescott being a thrower, yes, he's inaccurate sometimes. But another grown-ass man play, that touchdown to Michael Gallup. He put that ball at that point. You know, everybody talks about his accuracy. But at that point, that touchdown pass to Gallup, all Gallup had to do was just put his hands out. The cornerback was right there. He couldn't have played that. He couldn't have defended that any better. He literally was right there with him, stride for stride. Dak Prescott put it in the right spot for Gallup. Only Gallup could get it. I like to call it the put it up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it. That's what I like to call those type of plays. But in any instance, that was what that is. And I look at Gallup, you know, young guy, rookie, you know, coming into his own, getting a great rapport with Dak Prescott, and I'm loving that. I'm loving the way the team is rallying around each other right now, and they're doing some things. Now, 2 things on Dak. Do I think that Dak is going to be an elite quarterback? He may not be, but I don't need Dak to be. I need Dak to be Dak. I like Dak for the way he is. Now, I do want his mechanics, his footwork, his timing, things of that nature to get better. But outside of that, those are little small things. I don't need him to be a guy that's a gunslinger. We already had that with Tony Romo. You see where that got you. No disrespect to Tony Romo. Tony Romo was great when he was here. I was always a fan of Tony Romo. But right now, Dak is our quarterback, and I'm riding with who we have. Now, like I said, Dak knows what he needs to work on, and he's going to continue to do that. He's a smart guy. He's a very cerebral guy. He studies, and he tries to be better, and he's hard on himself a lot. And he's a natural leader. And these are things before his mother passed. These are the skills that she instilled in him at a very young age. And, he never faltered from that. And I can't do nothing but respect that. Now, do I think that he's going to ever be elite? Like I said, no. I don't need him to be. I don't need him to be Aaron Rodgers. I don't need him to be Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Because those are different type of quarterbacks. That's not his game. But the way that he plays, he's not going to be a guy that's going to get you 500, 400, 500 yards passing the game. I don't need that. Because to me, that's hearsay. I look at it like that's for fantasy. If you're playing fantasy and you want a quarterback that's going to get that, you're going to get a Jared Goff. You're going to get a Pat Mahomes. But Dak Prescott is not that type of stat guy. He is a guy that's going to distribute it. We're going to run the ball with Zeke. He's going to run it a couple of times, and that's just the way we are. We're a balanced offense when it comes to that. We're not pass heavy. So when you look at fantasy, you're probably not going to get Dak Prescott. But in a realistic standpoint and winning a game, him ranging 250 yards a game, I'm cool with that. I don't need you to bust 300. Long as you win the damn game, that's all I worry about. Win the game. Win the game. Because if you win, you're in. So in that game, he was 22 for 33 with 226 yards, a touchdown, and one interception. And that interception was so fluke. It was just like he threw the ball to Noah Brown. And Noah Brown just like, oh, you intercepted it. You got it. You took the ball from me. Why did you took the ball from me. Why did you? Okay. Yeah, so basically that when you go back and look at that play. When you look at that like that whole scenario I just did right now, like it's hilarious, but that's how it was. It was like, oh, he got it. Damn. I'm sorry, Dak. But then you got Amari Cooper on the other side of the field jumping up and down like, God, should have gave me the ball. I was open. It is what it is. Like I said, these are mistakes that, you got to work on. But Amari Cooper loves Dak. I mean, he likes being on this team. He loves the camaraderie. You look at the Allen Hurns injury. Oh, my God. Like, the support on Twitter, like, they hit Allen Hurns' mom's account blew up. You know what I mean? Because of the whole situation. They were giving well wishes to her and Allen, and the little boy Luke wrote him a letter and was distraught that he had that injury and sent him well wishes. I just thought that was an awesome thing. And like I said, as a person, Allen Hurns is great. But you look at like his teammates that came around him, Tavon Austin and Michael Gallup is a rookie, and he's showing love to his brothers, and it's a huge thing to see that when you see your receivers coming together like that. When somebody deals with a season-ending injury, it's crazy. So as we move forward to the Rams, like I said, I will be doing my matchup as usual at the end of the week, probably Saturday morning before the game. Get you guys time to look at that and review that and comment on that and see what you like and what you don't like. Just some key things I want to talk about, and I'll probably go over it again later. With the Rams, people look at them as a complete team, but every team has a weakness, Their scariest part of their defense is their front line with Michael Brockers and Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. You look at Aaron Donald and the things that he's able to do. For him to be an interior guy to get, I don't know what his sack total is, but I know he has a lot of them. But to get, first, I think it's over 10. But anyway, you get that many sacks at the defensive tackle position, that's really hard to do. Because the interior guy basically chokes everything. They basically clog and cover. That's their reason to be in there. They're block eaters. They're taking all the blocks on so the defensive ends could come in and rush the passer. But anytime you're rushing from the middle and you're getting some push, dude, that's all technique right there. Because Aaron Donald was not the tallest guy. You know, that was his knock. The knock on him was that he was a short defensive end, but he's strong and stout. And he goes in there and he does what he needs to do, period. So, with that being said, can't do nothing but respect a guy like that. And Ndamukong Suh, we already know who he is. I feel like since he's been with the Rams, he doesn't play as dirty as he did when he was with the Lions. You see what happens when you change a team and the philosophy changes. How different a guy can be, you know. You look at their back end with Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters and, you know, those Pro Bowl guys, and, you know, those are household names back there. Now, again, they're 32nd against the run, and Ezekiel Elliott against the Seattle Seahawks was basically pushing 5.1 yards each carry. That's, you know, he's got to be licking his chops right now, thinking, oh, I'm about to run over these Rams. But again, you still got to have a game plan with that. You got to be balanced. You know, there are analysts out here saying that the Cowboys have a great chance of winning this game because the matchup is favorable towards them. But again, you still got to give respect to the Rams. Now, I look at it like this. When you look at what the team has done this year, you would think that, okay, well, the Cowboys should have the edge in this game. But when you look at it on paper, the Rams are a better team on paper, but paper doesn't win you games. Schemes, the way that you're playing, execution, making minimal mistakes, like everything plays a factor in you winning a game. And again, it's any given Sunday, and at any time, anybody can win. That's why you can't underestimate anybody. There's still people that's writing off the Cowboys, and that's fine. I like to be the underdog because you go in there, you win, and you shut people up for that week. But then, of course, with the Cowboys, there's always the narrative of, oh, they got it because blah, 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 and because this player didn't do this, or they didn't play him, or he was injured, or he fumbled the ball. Look, now, one thing I will say that they do give credit to the Cowboys for is definitely our defense. You can't deny that. I mean, they are arguably right now have the best defense with what's left in the playoffs. I know that the Saints are a complete team right now, and I think the Rams are a complete team as well. Sean McVay is definitely going to come hard and fast with these guys. Now, you kind of want Suo-Filo playing this week because, like I mentioned in last videos, he is a power guy. Connor is a more athletic, shifty guy that's great with pulling on the lines and second-level blocking. But you look at what we have with Suo-Filo, hopefully he's able to play in this game because you need a power offensive lineman at that position right there next to Tyron Smith, hoarding these big burly guys off the line because, you know, their front four is nasty. And it is what it is. But it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans at the LA Coliseum because there's a lot of Cowboy fans that live in Cali. And I know that, you know, the Rams fans, I know that, you know, they're probably irritated because they see a lot of Cowboy fans out there, especially in the Thousand Oaks area. I mean, that's why we're called America's team. I mean, we are, and to me, an international team because we're all over the world. You look at people from the UK, and shout out to Katie Calls It. Everybody that's like getting into, you know, football and things of that nature. Cowboys are our household name. You know, you see that star, it's like, you know, it's a brand. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since the Cowboys played in the playoffs with the Rams, and like this game, when I tell you, it's going to be a true testament of. You look at the ticket sales first of all, how they went up when the Cowboys defeated the Seattle Seahawks. When they found out, when the world found out that they were coming to the LA Coliseum to play the Rams. The ticket prices, I think the ticket prices for the top level seats are like north of $300. And that's for like nosebleed seats. So you can only imagine what bottom level seats are. I mean, you got to sell your daughter and your left arm for that one. So, but yeah, but no, not your daughter. But no, you can't do that. You're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Now, I've never been to California before. I swear, if I was able to do it, I would get to the game. I would spend that $300 because first of all, the LA Coliseum is a historical place, and you know the Rams won't be there long because they're getting their new stadium built. It should be done by 2021. But if the Cowboys somehow make it to the Super Bowl, I'm definitely gonna try to squeeze my butt up in there, you know what I'm saying, some kind of way. I'm jumping to somebody's suitcase, you know, but I definitely got to be there because I gotta report live, I'm telling you, because that could be huge for the channel. I've never been to a Super Bowl before, and I know that it's like, to me, I feel like it's going to be the draft times 10. But even the draft was awesome. Like going to the draft, the fact that it was actually at the Cowboys Stadium this past year, that was awesome because, you know, it's at my favorite team's place, and what better stadium to go to than AT&T? But I look at it like this. I had so much fun there, just seeing all the other fans of other teams there, and you had the Eagle fans and stuff doing all this, and you know division teams in there acting up, but seeing Bronco fans and Rams fans and Falcons fans, it just seeing so many different jerseys there. It was a big event, the NFL experience, and like just being able just to see different things and all the things you could purchase, and Jay Glazer and Steve Smith up there. I was standing right there where they were talking on camera on a TV. I mean, it was awesome. I kind of just, me and Law Nation, we were trying to, me and Foots, we was trying to get up in there and in the booth and try to, you know, bum rush it and try to get in there and be like, hey, what's going on, y'all? We're YouTube. You know, we was trying to get some camera time, but it's all good. But like I said, as we venture off into Rams weekend, you look at the injuries that we have right now. Sulafilo should be able to play. I said before, don't look for David Irving, but I wouldn't be surprised if they snuck him in and slid him in there. Oh, yeah, one big thing. So, speaking of Allen Hurns, they did finally put him on IR officially. No surprise, they brought up Lance Lenoir, so I tweeted about it before, earlier today. Lance Lenoir, this is your time to shine, bro. Go out there and show them that you want it. Get open for Dak. Do what you need to do. Help your team win. I think that it's going to be a big game for Tavon Austin, going back and playing your old team. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder right now. Granted, he's still dealing with a little complication of the groin injury. You can see that one long run that he had that would have been a touchdown if it wasn't a penalty, but whatever. And then that other long run that he had from the punt return. But I look at it like this. I feel like he's going to come and play this game. I think they might make some packages for him just because they're playing against his old team. But we'll see what it is. Sean McVay is a smart guy. I give him a lot of credit for that. He spoke highly of a lot of our players, and you know he's just a stand-up guy. And he's what, 32, 33 years old? He's a young guy. He's a year younger than me. You know, he head coach in the league doing a damn thing. And shout out to him for that. You know, I got mad respect for it, but it's all Cowboys. Hopefully we win this game and move forward. The scenario that I would love to see right now, if we do beat the Rams, I would love to see the Eagles take down the Saints, which I don't know if they're going to do that because the Saints are good at home, and playing in Saints is bad luck for the visiting team. So, you know, that Mercedes-Benz dome is... It's I mean, it's loud. It's crazy in there. But if somehow the Eagles pull it off, I would love to see us play them at our home for the NFC Championship game. I think that would be awesome. I know some people say it like some of the Cowboys writers and social media team, like Shannon Gross. Shannon Gross said he would rather us. He said he would rather us lose this week than the Eagles winning and then us having to play them at our home and then them beating us. I was like, so why are you thinking that negative? Don't think like that. I look at it like this. I want to play them at our home. And I understand what he was saying, like, you don't want to lose against the Eagles at your home and see them celebrating in the confetti, winning the NFC Championship and going on to the Super Bowl for the second time in a row at your home. You don't want to see that. And I'm like, I get that. I get that. I completely get that. But my rebuttal to that is, you just got to play. Just go out there and do your thing. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. And because at the end of the day, it matters. And you just play your game. Because if you win, then you go to the Super Bowl. If that scenario happens. But that's the scenario I want to see. I want to see them knock out the Saints. So we ain't got to, because either way, if they lose against the Saints, we got to go there. And again, we're trying to stay away from going down to Louisiana. I know Dak Prescott says it because he's from there, so he would love to go home and play in front of his crowd and win it all for his team. But, you know, he's going to say that because he's the quarterback and that's what he's supposed to say. But me as a Joe Schmo, as the fan, as the YouTuber, I'm just going to say, nah, I'd rather the Eagles do our dirty work and us play the Eagles and have them bragging rights over the Eagles and finally win an NFC Championship game since the 90s, because we have not won one since the mid-90s, and it's a little embarrassing, y'all. But yeah, shout out to Dak Prescott for winning his first playoff game. Continue playing like a grown-ass man, and we'll be good. So with that being said, that's all I have today, guys. Thanks again to all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and smack that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to get this content from your boy. And it's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a great evening.